Hi sir, myself Chetan. I'm from 3BComC. So today I'm here to talk about the world famous entrepreneur Jeff Bezos. Jeffrey Preston Bezos is an American entrepreneur, media proprietor, investor, computer engineer, and commercial astronaut. He is the founder, executive chairman, and former president and CEO of Amazon, with a net worth of around 159 billion US dollars as of August 2022. Bezos is the second wealthiest person in the world and was the wealthiest person from 2017 to 21, according to both Bloomberg's Billionaires Index and Forbes. He was born in New Mexico and raised in Austin and Miami. Bezos graduated from Princeton University in 1986. He holds a degree in engineering and computer science. He worked on Wall Street in a variety of related fields from 1986 to early 1994. Bezos founded Amazon in late 1994 on a road trip from New York City to Seattle. The company began as an online bookstore and has since expanded to a variety of other e-commerce products and services, including video and audio streaming, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence. It is currently the world's largest online sales company, the largest internet company by revenue, and the largest provider of virtual assistants and cloud infrastructure services through its Amazon Web Services branch. Bezos founded the aerospace manufacture and suborbital space flight services company Blue Origin in 2000. Blue Origin's New Shepard vehicle reached space in 2015 and afterwards successfully landed back on Earth. He also purchased a major American newspaper, the Washington Post in 2013 for 250 million US dollars and manages many other investments through his venture capital from Bezos Expeditions. In September 2021, Bezos co-founded biotechnology company Altos Lab with male RU founder Yuri Milner, the first centibillionaire on the Forbes Wealth Index. Bezos was named the richest man in the modern history after his net worth increased to 150 billion in July 2018. In August 2020, according to the Forbes, he had a net worth exceeding 200 billion. In 2020, during the COVID pandemic, his wealth grew by approximately 24 billion. On July 5th, 2021, he stepped down as a CEO of Amazon and transitioned into the role of executive chairman. Andy Jassy, the chief of Amazon Cloud Computing Division, replaced Bezos as a CEO of Amazon. On July 20, 2021, he flew to space alongside his brother Mark. The substantial flight lasted over 10 minutes, reaching a peak altitude of 66.5 miles. Jeffrey Preston Jorgensen was born in New Mexico on January 12, 1964, the son of Jacqueline and Theodore Jorgensen. At the time of Jeff's birth, his mother was 17 years old high school student and his father was 19 years old. Jorgensen had ancestry from the Denmark and was born in Chicago to the family of Baptist. After completing high school, despite challenging conditions, Jacqueline attended night school while bringing Jeff along as a baby. Jeff attended a Montessori school in New Mexico when he was 2 years old. After his parents divorced, his mother married Cuban immigrant Bezos in Miguel Mike Bezos in April 1968. Shortly after the wedding, Mike adopted four-year-old Jeff, whose surname was legally changed to Jorgensen to Bezos. After Mike had received his degree from the University of New Mexico, the family moved to the Austin, Texas, so that he could begin working as an engineering for Exxon. Jeff attended River Oaks Elementary School in Austin from 4th to 6th grade. Jeff's maternal grandfather was Lawrence Preston Guise, a religious director of U.S. Atomic Energy Commission in New Mexico. Lawrence retired to early to his family's ranch near Cortely, Texas, where Jeff would spend many summers in his youth. Jeff would later purchase his ranch and expand it from 25,000 acres to 3 lakh acres. Jeff displayed scientific interest and technological proficiency, and once rigged an electrical alarm to keep his younger siblings out of his room. The family moved to Miami, Florida, where Jeff attended Miami Palmetto High School. While Jeff was in high school, he worked at McDonald's as a short order line cook during the breakfast shift. Bezos attended the Student Science Training Program at the University of Florida. He was high school valedictorian and a National Benedict Scholar and Silver Knight Award winner in 1982. In his graduation speech, Bezos told the audience he dreamed of a day when mankind Bezos told his audience he dreamed of a day when mankind would colonize space. A local newspaper quoted his intention to get all people of the earth and see it turned into a huge national park. In 1986, he graduated from Princeton University with a 4.2 GPA and a Bachelor of Science in the Engineering degree in electrical engineering and computer science. He was also a member of Pi Beta Kappa while at Princeton. Bezos was a member of the Quadrangle Club, one of the Princeton 11 eating clubs. In addition, he was elected to Tau Beta Pi and was a president of the Princeton chapter of the Students for the exploration and development of space. Uh, after Bezos graduated from the college in 1986, he was offered jobs at Intel, Bell Labs, and Anderson Consulting, among others. He first worked at Fetal, a fintech telecommunication startups, where he was tasked with building a new network for international trade. Bezos was promoted to head of the development and director of the customer service. Thereafter, he transitioned into a bank industry when he became a product manager at Bankers Trust from 1988 to 1990. He then joined D. Shaw and Company, a newly founded uh, hedge fund with a strong emphasis on mathematical modeling in 1990 and worked there until 1994. Bezos became D. Shaw's fourth senior vice president at the age of 30. In late 1993, Bezos read that the internet was growing at a rate of 2,300% per year and decided to establish an online bookstore. He and his wife Mackenzie left their job at D. E. Shaw Company and founded Amazon in a rented garbage in Bellevue, Washington on July 5th, 1994. After writing its business plan on a cross-country drive from New York City to Seattle, with Bezos and his Helm and Scott taking an integral role in its operations. writing checks, keeping tracks of books, and negotiating the company's first freight contracts. The foundations was laid for the garage run operations to grow exponentially prior to settling on Seattle, and Bezos had investigated setting up his company at an Indian reservation near San Francisco in order to avoid paying taxes. Bezos initially named his new company uh, Kab- Kabadra, but later changed the name to Amazon the Amazon River in after the Amazon River in the South America. In the part because the name begins with a letter A, which is at the beginning of the alphabet. At the time, website listings were alphabetized, so a name starting with A would appear sooner when a customer conducted online search. In addition, he regarded Amazon, the name of the world's largest river, as a fitting for the what he hoped would become the world's largest online bookstore. He accepted an estimate uh, 3 lakh dollars from his 3 lakh US dollars from his parents and invested in Amazon. He warned many early investors that there was a 70% chance that Amazon would fail or go bankrupt. Although Amazon was originally an online bookstore, Bezos had always planned to expand to other products. 3 years after Bezos founded Amazon, he took it to public with an initial public offerings. To the response to crucial reports from Fortune and Barron's, Bezos maintained that the growth of the internet would overtake competition from larger book retailers such as Borders and Barnes and Noble. In 1998, Bezos diversified into an online sale of music and video, and by the end of the year, he had expanded the company's products to include a variety of other consumer goods. Bezos used to use the 54 $54 million US dollars raised during the company's 1997 equity offering to finance aggressive acquisition of smaller competitors. In 2000, Bezos borrowed 2 billion US dollars from the bank as its cash balances dipped to only 350 million US dollars. In 2002, Bezos led Amazon to launch Amazon web services, which compile data from weather channels to website traffic. In late 2002, rapid spending from Amazon caused it financial distress when revenue stagnated. After the company nearly went bankrupt, he closed distribution centers and laid off 14% of the Amazon workforce. In 2003, Amazon rebounded from financially instability and turned a profit of 400 million US dollars. In November 2007, Bezos launched the American Kindle. According to a 2008 Time profile, Bezos wished to create a device that would allow a flow state in reading similar to the experience of video games. In 2013, Bezos secured a 600 million contract with a Central Intelligence Agency (CIA) on the behalf of Amazon Web Series. In October of that year, Amazon was recognized as the largest online shopping retailer in the world. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Srijit. I'm here to talk about Jeff Bezos' journey with Blue Origin and some of the other things about his life. In September 2002, Bezos founded Blue Origin, a human space flight startup. Bezos has long expressed an interest in space travel and development of human life in solar system. His 1982 high school valedictorian senior graduation speech was followed up with Miami Herald interview in which he expressed an interest to build and develop hotels, amusement parks, and colonies for human beings who were in orbit. The 18-year-old Bezos stated that he wanted to preserve Earth from overuse through resource depletion. Rob Meyerson led Blue Origin from 2003 to 2017 and served as its first president. After its founding, Blue Origin maintained a low profile until 2006 when it was purchased a large tract of land in West Texas for launch and test facility. After the company gained the public's attention during the late 2000s, Bezos additionally indicated his interest in reducing the cost of space travel for humans while also increasing the safety of extraterrestrial travel. In 2011, one of the company's unmanned prototype vehicles crashed during a short hop test flight. Although the crash was viewed as a setback, news outlets noted how far the company went from its founding to date in advancing spaceflight. After the crash, Bezos has been superstitiously wearing his lucky Texas cowboy boots to all his rocket launches. In May 2013, Bezos met Richard Branson, chairman of Virgin Galactic, to discuss commercial spaceflight opportunities and strategies. He has been compared to Branson and Elon Musk as all three are billionaires who prioritize spaceflight among their business interests. In 2005, Bezos announced that a new orbital vehicle launch was under development and would make its first flight in late 2010s. Later in November, Blue Origin's New Shepard space vehicle successfully rocketed into space and reached its planned test altitude of 100.5 kilometers before executing a vertical landing back at the launch site in West Texas. In 2006, Bezos allowed select journalists to visit, tour, and photograph his facility. He has repeatedly called for increased interspace energy and industrial manufacturing to increase the negative costs associated with business-related pollution. In December 2017, New Shepard successfully flew and landed dummy passengers, amending and pushing its human space travel start date into late 2018. To execute this program, Blue Origin built 6 of the vehicles to support all phases of testing and operations. No passenger tests, flights with test passengers, and commercial passengers weekly operations. Since 2016, Bezos has spoken more freely about his hopes to colonize the solar system and has been selling $1 billion in Amazon stock each year to capitalize Blue Origin in effort to support this endeavor. In May 2018, Bezos maintained that primary goal of Blue Origin is to preserve the natural resources of the Earth by making the human species multiplanetary. He announced that the New Shepard would begin transporting humans into suborbital space by November 2018. In July 2018, it was announced that Bezos has priced commercial space flight tickets from $2 lakh to $3 lakh per person. In July 2021, he launched on NS-16 mission with his half-brother Mark Bezos, Wally Funk, and Oliver Davon. He launched 9 days after Richard Branson launched on board the Virgin Galactic Unity 22 mission. Washington Post. On August 5th, 2013, Bezos announced his purchase of the Washington Post for $250 million in cash, at the suggestion of his friend Don Graham. To execute the sale, he established limited liability company Nash Holdings to serve as a holding company through which he would own the newspaper. The sale closed on October 1st, 2013 and the Nash Holding took control. In March 2014, Bezos made his first significant change at Washington Post and lifted the online paywall for subscribers of a number of US local newspapers in Texas, Hawaii, and Minnesota. In January 2016, Bezos set out to reinvent the newspaper as a media and technology company by reconstructing its digital software, mobile platforms, and analytics software. Throughout the early years of ownership, Bezos was accused of having a potential conflict of interests with the paper. Bezos and newspaper's editorial board have dismissed accusations that he unfairly controlled the paper's content, and Bezos maintains the paper's independence. After surge in online readerships in 2016, the paper was profitable for first time since Bezos made the purchase in 2013. Bezos expeditions. Bezos makes personal investments through his venture capital vehicle, Bezos Expeditions. He was one of the first shareholders in the Google when he invested 25 $250,000 in 1998. That $250,000 investment resulted in 3.3 million shares of Google stock worth about 3.1 billion in 2017. He also invested in Unity Biotechnology, a life extension research firm hoping to slow or stop the process of aging. Bezos is involved in healthcare sector, which includes investments in Unity Biotechnology, Grail, Juno Therapeutics, and Zoldoc. In January 2018, an announcement was made concerning Bezos' role within a new unnamed healthcare company. This venture, later named Heaven, is expected to be a partnership between Amazon, JP Morgan, and Berkshire Hathaway. Bezos also supports philanthropic efforts through direct donations and non-profit projects funded by Bezos Expeditions. Bezos used Bezos Expeditions to fund several philanthropic projects, including an innovation center at Seattle Museum of History and Industry and Bezos Center for Neural Dynamics at Princeton Neuroscience Institute. In 2013, Bezos Expedition funded the recovery of two Saturn V first-stage Rocketdyne F1 engines from floor of Atlantic Ocean. They were positively identified as belonging to Apollo 11 mission's S1C stage from July 1969. The engines are all currently on display at Seattle Museum of Flight. Next, we will be talking about Altos Labs. In September 2021, Bezos co-founded Altos Labs with Mail.ru founder Yuri Milner. Altos Labs is a generously funded biotechnology company dedicated to harnessing cellular reprogramming to develop longevity therapeutics. The company has recruited prominent scientists such as John Carlos Belmonte, Steve Horvath, and Shinya Yamaka. The company left stealth mode and launched on January 19th with start of 3 billion capital and an executive team led by Hal Baron. Now let's talk about the public image of Jeff Bezos. Journalist Nellie Bowles of New York Times has described the public persona and personality of Bezos as that of a brilliant but mysterious and cold-blooded corporate titan. During the 1990s, Bezos earned a reputation for relentlessly pushing Amazon forward, often at the expense of public charity and social welfare. Journalist Mark O'Connell criticized Bezos' relentlessly customer focus as very small in terms of impact on humanity as a whole. A sentiment technologist Tim O'Reilly agreed with it. His business practices projected a public image of prudence and parsimony with his own wealth and that of Amazon. Bezos was a multi-billionaire who drove a 1996 Honda Accord. Throughout the early 2000s, he was perceived to be geeky or nerdy. Bezos was seen by some as needlessly quantitative and data-driven. This perception was detailed by Alan Dustman, who described him as talking in lists and the criteria in order of importance for every decision he has made. Select accounts of his persona have drawn controversy and public attention. Notably, journalist Brad Stone wrote a book that described Bezos as demanding boss as well as hyper-competitive, and opined that Bezos perhaps bet the biggest on the internet than anyone else. Bezos has been characterized as a notoriously opportunistic CEO who operates with little concern for obstacles and externalities. During the early 2000s and 2010s, Bezos solidified his reputation for aggressive business practices and his public image began to shift. Bezos started to wear tailored clothing, he weight trained, pursued a regimented diet and began to spend his money freely. His physical transformation has been compared to transformation of Amazon. He is often referred to as metronome of the company. His physical appearance increased the public perception of him as a symbolically dominant figure in business and in popular culture, wherein he has been parodied as enterprising supervillain. Since 2017, he has been portrayed as Kylie Minogue and Steve Carell on Saturday Night Live, usually as an undercutting, domineering figure. In May 2014, the International Trade Union Confederation named Bezos the world's worst boss, with its General Secretary Sharon Borough saying, Jeff Bezos represents the inhumanity of employers who are promoting the North American corporate model. When 2019 Harvard Business Review, which ranked Bezos the best performing CEO for 4 years in a row since 2014, did not rank him even in the top 100, citing Amazon's relatively low ESG, environment, social, and governance scores that reflect risks created by working conditions and employment policies, data security, and antitrust issues. During the late 2010s, Bezos reversed his reputation for being reluctant to spend money on non-business related expenses. His relative lack of philanthropy compared to other billionaires had drawn a negative response from public since 2016. Bezos has been known to publicly contest claims made in critical articles, as exemplified in 2015 when he sent a memo to employees denouncing a New York Times piece. So guys, this was all about the billionaire Jeff Bezos. Thank you.